it's Kayla King, and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome. Today I'm sharing another writing vlog with you, and though this past week had its ups and downs, it certainly had its epiphanies as well, and I'm thrilled with the progress I was able to make. Hello, it is just after 10:30 on Monday evening. I just finished up my 5-step typical skincare routine that I love to do every day, and I'm just getting in the process of winding down for bed, so I figured what better time than to read and prepare for my book club meeting tomorrow with my best friend. We recently finished our first book club pick, which was Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. It was fantastic. Now we are moving on to Gallant by V.E. Schwab, which is her newest book. You can see here my copy is naked. I like to take the dust covers off of my books when I read them. For tonight, I am going to be reading the first 5 chapters, so reading to about page 50. Those are the sections that my best friend and I like to do for our weekly book clubs. If you've been following along, you'll know that I've really been making an effort to read before bed to avoid my computer and my phone because the blue light does keep me up. I'm really excited to dive into this book, but I did just want to give a recap of today since I didn't record any footage. I was up early this morning at 6:30 to feed my dog. I wasn't feeling particularly energized this morning, so I did go back to sleep until I had to log in for my day job. I actually had 2 cups of coffee before 11, which is so unusual for me. I've really been making an effort to cut back on my caffeine intake, but I did have 3 cups of coffee today. However, the extra coffee did give me a nice boost of energy at the end of the workday, and I was able to get through all of the graphics and logos that I needed to for my next book club that I'm starting with one of my local friends. It is a Bigfoot Book Club, and I'm so excited. And then I spent the rest of the evening preparing the footage for tomorrow's vlog that I'm going to be posting, just kind of cleaning that up, getting everything organized, designing my thumbnails and social media images so that way the process tomorrow once that video is posted goes a little bit smoother. I am pretty tired right now, but I'm hoping to get through this whole first section for book club. If not, I can read a little bit tomorrow morning or on my lunch before I do have that book club meetup at 4:30 tomorrow. Excitingly, I also did receive my Owl Crate package, so I did record that footage for a video later this week. Great items that are so useful and really unique to this month's theme. For now, I'm going to go ahead and dive into Gallant. I'll let you know my thoughts on this book as I read a little bit further. Hello, it's 8:45 on Wednesday morning. If you've been following along, you know that I typically log in for my day job at 8 a.m., but today I do have the day off, and I'm planning on spending every bit of it writing and finishing chapter 15. Now I'm sitting down with boundless determination to get this chapter done. Let's see how much progress we can make. It's just about 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. You will notice I have a different sweatshirt on. I did get a little bit of writing done this morning, and then I took a break. I showered, ate some lunch, and I'm returning back to the page. Taking the time away that I did was absolutely necessary this morning because as I was working on chapter 15, I realized none of it was working, and I've been trying to make it work for almost 3 weeks now, and it just doesn't fit with the tone of where I left off in chapter 14. I'm sure many writers and maybe a past version of myself working on this book would have spent the day wallowing in the fact that I had already spent so much time working on this chapter. But I'm using this as an opportunity to cut even more words, since that's the whole purpose of this round of revisions and line edits. I used that time during my shower today to really brainstorm and figure out where the pieces of the next few chapters could fit in and where I could take this blank space of a chapter 15 before moving on to the rest of section 2. I have most of it figured out. I even got a couple of lines of dialogue for a conversation that's going to take place between two of my characters at the start of this new chapter. But for now, I am going to take the time to do a little bit of brainstorming, take some notes on post-its, look through the next few chapters ahead, and figure out where I can take these scenes and how I can make them the best versions of themselves. Having the time and space to fully dedicate to my writing today has been a blessing. Every other time I've sat down to work on chapter 15 recently, I've already been tired and really just chalked up those feelings of exhaustion and boredom working on this chapter to the fact that it had been a long working day, or I was busy with other projects or graphics or whatever it was that I was doing, instead of listening to my gut and my intuition telling me this chapter was just not what it needed to be. I'm so excited to reassemble these scenes and to see how much progress I can make this afternoon. I was able to go through every single scene that I have for the next 4 chapters, break them down, and figure out where they need to go in the next order. Just to show you what the madness looks like, I do have all of my post-its here up around my monitor, and I'm going to be getting those organized and then adding them into my Dreamer journal. So that's what we're going to be doing next. You can see here I broke down by chapter 15, chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Originally, I was not going to have that many chapters in section 2. Based on how I've moved these scenes around, it seems like 20 is going to be the perfect number. Really, I'll only know once I get in and start line editing, but for now, I have a solid plan moving forward, and I'm really excited with the changes that I was able to make today. It is 5 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. I have finished moving the sections and scenes from the last few chapters in section 2 into the chapters they need to be into. So now I'm going to go ahead and return back to chapter 15 to work on line edits there. Now my sister is coming to pick me up in about 15 minutes, so let's see how much progress we can make. Hello, Hello, it is 7:35 on Thursday morning and I'm just sitting down to work on chapter 15. I wasn't able to completely finish fleshing this chapter out yesterday after restructuring and adding in different scenes that weren't originally in this chapter. So what I'm going to be working on today is making sure that I do have some paragraphs transitioning from one scene to the next and fully building out what needs to happen in this chapter between my main character and her love interest. And then towards the end of the chapter, I am going to have her father come in, so it'll be some really interesting dynamics. I'm excited to roll with these changes and finish up these last few chapters in section 2. Let's see how much progress we can make today. It's 7:58, so that's going to be a wrap on my writing session this morning. I was able to add 74 new words, but most of what I was doing was shifting around those beginning scenes to kind of come up with a decent order for them and rearrange the messages. I'm hopefully going to be returning to this chapter on lunch today and then working on it later tonight. All in all, I love starting my day off with these writing sessions, however short they may be. Hello, it is 1:45 and I have 15 minutes left before I need to log back into work from my lunch break. But as I always say, 15 minutes is better than nothing, so I'm going to sit down and try to get a little bit more writing done on chapter 15. Let's see how much progress we can make today. My Crumbl cookie using the official cutter from Crumbl Cookies. My sister actually bought this for me last week. Great addition to my weekly routine. Let's go ahead and give this Boston cream pie cookie a taste. I love that the cutter cuts it into 4 little pie slices, so perfect bite right here. So the crust on that cookie was actually very similar in shape to the crust for the key lime pie cookie a few weeks ago. However, that cookie had a graham cracker crust and this is a sugar cookie crust. Perfection on the sugar cookie. I loved the little crinkled edges that really just sells it as a pie. The filling has a great texture, great flavor. It's served chilled, so it really stayed in place when you took a bite of it. And then it did have a chocolate ganache in the center. All in all, delicious cookie. But as always, I'm looking forward to see what next week has in store for Crumbl Cookies. Hello, it's just about 9:30 on Sunday morning and I'm sitting down to dive into chapter 15. I'm going to start this writing session off by reading what I have so far for chapter 15 out loud, just to make sure I can settle into the chapter before I start in the last scene that I left off on. Before I do that, I did just want to give it a quick recap because I haven't recorded anything since Thursday. Right around the time my phone died, I did shift out of chapter 15 and I worked on some poetry and fiction submissions. I ended up submitting 23 pieces, so now I'm just waiting with fingers crossed over the next few weeks and months to see if any of these will be accepted for publication. Friday turned out to be a little bit more of a hectic day, but I was able to finish editing my Owl Crate unboxing video for April 2022 Peek Behind the Curtain. If you haven't watched that yet, I hope you'll check it out. And then my mom got home from a work trip, so I did spend the rest of the night just catching up with her. It was great. Yesterday, same kind of thing. It was a very chill day that I spent with my parents, and then my sister brought her dog over and we hung out and played with the pups. And then last night, my mom and I did go to see the Secrets of Dumbledore movie. This was my second time seeing it, and I actually did enjoy it more the second time than I did the first time around. I think because I knew what to expect and places to look out for. All in all, it's been a great few days rest away from working on chapter 15, but I'm really excited to dive right in and see how much progress I can make today. I'm going to continue working on chapter 15 and hopefully finish section 2 of my WIP. Following Wednesday's Epiphany, I now have the knowledge and roadmap I need to make my way through these last few chapters. Nothing about the writing process is simple or easy, but it's so worth it, and I love that I'm able to spend time with these characters and in this world that I have built myself that I so love. And I think at the end of the day, as writers, that's all we can ask for. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, no matter where the day takes you, dream big.